Next presenter is Asha.
Yes, sir. Good morning to everyone. And today I am here with fourth presentation. This is our last presentation, which is on ELT, English Language Teaching. So as we know that every community have a different language, and within that particular culture, the language have its own meaning and its own essence. So my topic for today's presentation is how socio-cultural dimensions of English is influenced when we are learning English as a second language, and how English is used in advertisement in India within the cultural dimensions of India. So first, see some of the objectives of my presentation is to analyze how English language used within social and cultural dimensions of India. And this presentation also tried to highlight how advertisement using the hybridized form of English within India to attract audience. So before we go into deep, let's see some of the difference between, let's see meaning of language and culture. So language and culture both are interconnected. So language, as Douglas Brown pointed out, that language is a part of culture and culture is a part of language. So these two are intricately interwoven, so that one cannot separate the two without losing the significance of either of a language or either of a culture. So language is not isolated entity which exists individually, but language exists within culture, or culture exists within language. So language is deeply rooted in social cultural dimensions of society, and it also affects the native speaker's life. So what is interconnection between English language and culture? So as we know, there is a close association between the form of language, the structure of language, and the cultural activity which is done in society. So if we are speaking a particular language, then we are also speaking that particular language within that particular society or culture. As Frantz Fanon says in his work, Black Skin and White Mask. So a man who has a language consequently possesses the world expressed and implied by that language. So if we are speaking a language or learning any language of any nation or anything, then along with that, we are also possessing the culture of that particular nation or society or area. So what is the difference between foreign language and second language? In India, we are learning English as a second language. So first we have to differentiate what is difference between foreign language and second language. So foreign language is not one's own language. And the purpose of absorbing the foreign language is the culture of also absorbing the culture of that particular nation, while the second language is a reformed form of one's own language. If we own a second language, that particular language we own within our native language, and second language also an alternative way of expressing a culture of one's own. So foreign language is produced bilingual with a passive and receptive attitude, while the second language produces bilingual with active and creative interest. So let's see how English is learned by Indian people as a second language. So we English in India it can be seen as an Indianized form of English in India. Then English is a kind of a manipulation of language which we used in India, which is Indianized form. We try to convert English language within our culture and within our society. So socio-cultural codes of Indian culture are deeply infused in Indianized form of English. And the creative writers have, whenever a creative writer is writing any kind of work of art, then they are composing two language, which is of a native language as well as English as a second language. So we can see the effect of native language within that second language in which they are writing. And the words from native language are, some of the words from native language are directly absorbed into English, and then they are used as a day-to-day language. So when we use English in India as a second language, then we see the hybrid form of English. So, and we also see the hybrid form of English in Indian media. So linguistically, what is what is the meaning of hybridization? So if we see hybridization in language, then hybridization is the merging of a two language to form a new one, and fusion of English and Indian languages in India. We can see the hybrid form of English in India. In media, we can see the creative mixing of language to produce a deeper impact on the audience mind. So let's see some examples of advertisement. That Ching's Secret is a brand which is became famous in India as a desi Chinese food. So let's see advertising journey of this particular brand. So this particular brand first introduced in India during 1980s. And during 1987, there are only 5 to 4 restaurants in India. But after a couple of years, there is an instant rise in the interest of people in this Chinese food. And we see the Chinese food stall in 1990 beyond around 10,000 stalls. So for this particular brand to establish their place in India, there is a great challenge to convince a multilingual audience, because India is a very diverse country where different people are using different language. So elements of hybridization helps this brand to bridge the linguistic barriers, and they introduced the concept of Desi Chinese, which attract Indians a lot, because they are more in a favor of Desi things. And this brand started its journey on the platform. First, they came up with idea to started their journey with unique idea. They first made their account on Facebook, and there we can see around 100,000 followers on Facebook. To attract audience or to grasp the audience attention, they used only one strategy, which is to the strategy was very simple. So they used a language which is used by Indians. So Indians are using the hybridized form of English. So they used to use a mixing of Hindi and English language within their advertisements, so they can attract more audience. So here we can see some of the examples, like examples of instant noodles, that Ching's noodles are mind-blowing. Then there is another example of instant soup, that 1 minute hunger ki bajao. And there is another example of Szechuan chutney. Then so in that particular example, they are using the hybridized form of English to attract audience. And after that, we can see the rise of their followers. So after their advertising and their strategies to attract audience, we can see the rise of their followers also in YouTube page, on Facebook page, and Twitter. You can see on Twitter around there are 1,060. There are 2,965 followers, and on YouTube also there are lot many subscribers. There are around 359,000 subscribers on YouTube also. So at the conclude, we can see that to connect the larger audience, a hybridized form of language is used in India, which is Indianized form of English, and to infuse socio-cultural codes of a native language in second language helps to attract larger audience. This is how a manipulation of English language happens within a native language. Because we are learning English as a second language, and this is how the language is manipulated to express antithetically the context and the culture of India. So we can say that English, which is used in India, have its own, which is intermingled with the culture and context of India. And English, of course, came in India with the colonization, but now English has found its new ways of spreading its influence, and mainly through technological developments, economic globalization, and the improved global communication. So here are some of the references from which I have taken some sources, and thank you. If anyone have a question, they can either put in a chat box or they can ask. Thank you.
Yes, well presented. Good examples are also given to prove the point. Now, see, couple of points that you have to keep in mind. This was found in earlier presentations also. Like, for example, you cited Fanon. Yeah? Fanon, but the Fanon was not cited at the end. Yes, then Gredol. Last slide was about David Gredol. So you're citing David Gredol. But what is the source? From where have you cited David Gredol? So that was not found. Yes.
The quotation of David Gredol is taken from this Yadav, Sneha Yadav's, this is from Douglas Brown's article, Principle of Language Learning and Teaching. From that article it is taken. I am trying to find that article, but I am not able to find his sentence which is written in his work. So then I cited that article from which I have taken that. Yes. And I forgot to cite Franz Fanon.
But this Douglas, so when you do in-text citation, in that parenthesis, you have put Gredol. So now in-text citation and at the end of the citation, at the end of the presentation, these two should match with each other. They should match. This is called in-text, and then at the end of the text. So in-text means within the slides you have made citations, and then at the end means last list of the citations. So if you have put there, I know how it should match alphabetically. So if anybody wants to cross-verify your claim or your argument that you are putting, that will Gredol said, see. So if I want to verify it, I will go to G in work cited, and I will see, is there anything in G, Gredol, David, then what is that? Now, if it is not there, then it is not matching with each other. So then, otherwise you have to put there the source which you have done, Douglas Brown. You have to put there as you can say as cited by Douglas Brown.
Yes, sir.
So then people will go to Brown, and they will say Brown, and then they will verify that. So that is how in text and at the end of the text, citation has to match with each other.
Yes, sir.